Don't forget to grab the camera.
Says it's live.
And we are live. Good morning, Shel.
Good morning.
And good morning to anybody that's out there. Looks like we have Cindy. Good morning, Cindy. Good to see you.
Getting my art guard on.
Good idea. I'm just grabbing some sponges. I don't know if I'm going to need them or not, but you never know. Never know.
Maybe like you to be prepared.
So, yeah, this morning, kind of a lazy day. Shel was asking me, well, where are you going to start? And I'm saying, well, we're going to start with where we start. You know, I've got a journal here. This is just, my creative documentation for what I'm doing throughout the year. And one of the things that I had started some time ago were these pages.
Cindy says that there's no sound. Do you hear?
Let me turn the sound down on my phone and see if I hear it there. Check your settings.
Okay.
My mic default is working.
Yeah, my mic says it's working too.
So maybe it's on your end, Cindy. I don't know.
I can turn the volume up on this device and see if I can hear us.
Yeah, I'm turning it up on my.
I can turn the volume up on this device.
I just turned it up on my phone and it's working fine. So I think it must be on your end, kiddo.
Yep, I can hear it on my device too. So
yeah.
Okay. Anyway, back to the beginning.
Okay. So, I get inspiration from different colors and things. And so I'm marking out colors that go with something that's inspiring me. Fall right now is inspiring me. Hi, Leslie. Hi, Sybil. Hi, Barbara. Hello, Vicky. Hello, Peg. Anybody else having sound issues? Hope not. Hi, Cindy.
Got a couple Cindy's.
Yep. Okay, so anyway, these are the Deco Art Media, but then I also pulled out some alcohol inks this morning because I thought, well, I wanna work with different products and show you how to get started with some of these different products as we go through here. So I've got a bunch of small things. I've got watercolor paper, I've got alcohol ink art boards, I've got little canvases, so I'm going to do several different things along that line. So what are you doing, Shel?
Well, I've got my art journal habit. I've been working on my journal for art journal habit, which is starting on November 1st, as you guys all know, and you're all playing along, right? Right. And, at first when we had when Peg said in Art Joy of Sharing that the topic this month was the beginning or how to get started, and I thought, oh, that's easy. That's super easy, right? About that. And then I started thinking about it, and there are so many ways to get inspired, so many ways to get started, so many ideas that I had that it's endless. So I decided, since I haven't been able to get any art done lately, that I would just start working in my book on how you could start a page, not finishing anything. But of course, the way that I start a lot of my pages, and that this book is no exception, with the exception of this page, is that they're gel prints. I love to start my art journaling with gel prints because it's not white. It's not this plain, page that's like, oh my gosh, what am I going to put on there? Am I going to mess it up? It's so pristine and beautiful. Yeah. So my whole book, with the exception of this one page this time, because I had too few pages, is all prints that I've made on cardstock, and I printed on both sides. So I'm just going to work with some of these and give you ideas of how to start a blank page, how to work, how to start your layers and we're talking about mixed media, people here. I'm sure Peg is also talking about mixed media. And if you don't understand what mixed media is, It is the most freeing thing you could possibly do because there are no rules. You just experiment with stuff and mix it together. So in fine art, you're often so limited by, oh, well, you have to work with this certain medium, this certain stuff is the only thing you can have. And with mixed media and people who are just rogue from fine art, you can just throw,
Hello, you rogue
all
you.
these things with water-based things with, and yeah, that's not all necessarily going to work, but you have to try. And that's what mixed media is. So as long as you have more than one media, whether it's mixing photography with painting, whether it's mixing sculpture with, something else, whatever, that's mixed media. And that's what we do here on this channel. We may not talk about it a lot, but that's what we do on this channel.
So
So
we got a few more people joining in. I want to say hello to everybody, because we're so glad to see everybody here every time we come on. So we've got Barbara. I don't know if I said good morning to Barbara. Things have been a little bit touchy out there on the coastline. They've been losing electricity and things. So I'm glad to see people that are from the coast. And let's see, Laura, did I say good morning to Laura? I'm not sure.
She's doing the challenge. This is our biggest challenge, people. This is the one that we focus on for the whole year. We've got prompts, we've got pages, we're getting ready to go. And, we do other things, but this is probably the one that we've been doing the longest and the most. So I had this really nasty white page, and I had this water-soluble graphite. Yeah, that's a way to start a page, people.
Absolutely. So I just took one of those alcohol ink panels, and you saw me dropping it on there with some alcohol. And this is just, background stuff. So that's going to set aside and dry. I have another panel here that has black gesso on it. Then I've got a panel that's watercolor paper, and I should grab some watercolors out too. Or is there a different water medium that you guys want to see me work with today? Because, I got a lot of it. I can grab a lot of different things. But on here, I thought it would be fun to work with some of those paste type things. Let me get some of that.
So in mixed media, there's a lot of layering happening. There's a lot of one thing going on top of the other. And people who are new to mixed media, who are just starting, get really freaked out by that. It's like, oh, they have this thing and it's so beautiful, and then I want to cover it up. They're like, no. But that's the whole process. Please just let go of that. Go ahead, put something else on top of something else, start throwing things together, and you will be a happy person. You will, I promise. I promise. It's not the end of the world.
It's not? Are you sure about that?
I'm absolutely sure. So one of the most common ways to start a page is gesso. Gesso is an acrylic medium that has chalky filler in it, like plaster of Paris, and it's for surface prep and sealing. And it also, you can use it in place of your, mine's almost empty. Need a new bottle. You can use it in place of white if you want to. But, if your page is dark and you want to cover some of it, gesso is a good way to start.
Exactly.
Gesso is also fun to make marks with because it's usually pretty thick. You can continue your scribbling ideas just right in the gesso with a stick and bring back some of that movement and some of that weirdness that you had to begin with while toning it down a little bit.
Okay, do you want Inktense or block?
Oh,
They're responding to my question.
How about both?
So this, I think, it has to be a Stencil Girl stencil, but I don't know if it's out of one of their 9x9s that their ETC ones that I cut down, or if it's actually one of their 4x4s. I'll have to look it up for you. Put something in the bottom if you're interested in the stencil. But I just thought it was a cute, gardeny type of stencil. And because I've got this really glitzy stuff, this is from Gina K. And actually, Stencil Girl had sent us samples of this stuff, and I hadn't had this particular product before. So I thought, well, let's get it out. Let's work with it. Gotta have some stuff to play with here. So I'm gonna grab a palette knife or two, if I can get it out without dropping everything on the ground. And sorry for the shaking because I have to knock my camera too. And I'm just gonna put some of this glitz glitter gel on here because it's pretty.
Getting so wacky.
And I think on that black it should show up really good. I was looking at some other products. Do you guys have any of that eye zinc glitter stuff? Ooh, that looks like fun. I'd like to know what people are thinking of that.
I have Gina K. That's
I have Gina K. And I have had the Deco Art stuff before too.
What is this?
I either used up or dried up that stuff. But I'm just pressing this through the stencil. Not being real careful. Trying to get the orange in the area of the flower buds. And then I'll add some green to the stems and things. Hi, Terry. How are you doing today?
Since you're doing that, I'll do that too.
Okay.
I'm going to use this other one that's black.
Okay. Might as well, right?
I just don't want the words. There's some words on this stencil that are really close to the design. I cannot find my pixie spray. I bought the pixie spray because Mary Beth was all pixie spray, and I can't find it anywhere.
Oh, no. Well, I keep it over by my stencils because that's what I use it for. So it's just sitting on the shelf by my stencils where they're.
Well, I haven't used it yet at all. I just put it somewhere.
Oh.
For future use. It's never even been used, and I can't find it. I was trying to the other day when I was doing the project.
Uh-oh.
That's what happens to me.
It happens.
So yeah, texture paste is a fun way to start a project. Even just starting with that as the first layer is fun. I agree.
So now I've got a
stencil's so dirty.
It doesn't belong. Let me clean that up. See if I can do this without making a mess. We'll see. So
that's interesting stuff.
Yeah, look at that. Isn't that cute? I like it.
I'm not so sure about this.
And honestly, you could make a couple of these and put a ribbon on them, and they could become an ornament or something, like if you want to decorate. These would be fun. But I think I can't just leave it alone like that. I think I need some color. So let's get a paint pen of some sort. Do I have an? Oh yes, I have an orange paint pen. And the reason I work towards a paint pen is because working on a black surface, Thanks, creative. You never put anything up. Oh,
Never put anything away.
you never put anything up. It's a rule.
Yeah.
I didn't know that rule.
I like that rule. I think I'm down with that.
I am trying to adjust my camera. I should have done this before. Because, you know, we don't need it zooming in and out and doing weird stuff that I don't want it to do. I want it to do what I want it to do, which is not always possible because it doesn't listen to me sometimes. So,
well, that's interesting anyway. I don't like this white, this dark blob that happened in the middle. Put a little gesso on there.
There we go. So let's see if I can bring this in a little bit so you can see it up close and personal. There we go. Yay! So orange, I have both a Liquitex paint marker and a Molotow. These are both acrylic paint markers. Of course, I have Posca too, you know, but these are what I have directly overhead, and they all have like different tips on them too. Like this one's got the marker wedge type tip. This one has a bullet tip. And let me see what my Posca has. Because Posca will come in different size tips also. So when you're shopping for them, you know, this is a medium bullet in that one. See what this one is. This is a little bit different. This is the fine. Oops, this is the fine tip. So you see, you got all kinds of options when it comes to paint pens, and it depends on how you work and what you like, you know. But I'm just thinking I want to add a few little smatterings throughout here to brighten this up. And let's get this other orange, which is much finer. Yeah,
so
I like
another
that. I
fun
don't know if you guys can see that in the camera or not, but I just put, you know, some of that down. And then, you know, if you want to continue with the bling thing, you can add your rhinestones, your sequins, all that kind of stuff. But, you know, we were just beginning. So I'm going to set this one aside to dry and move on to another beginning.
Yes, I set mine aside to draw this one. And moving on to a different beginning. And something that's fun to do is to start with finger painting. That's a way to make marks on something. And generally, I just think about a color scheme. And I pick 3 colors. I'm all about 3 color schemes. I don't know why. But it's just a thing. So this had this yellow background. And I picked 3 colors I thought would kind of go with it, which is Blushing, Sedona, and Ocean Green. And I'm just applying these with my fingers. And then that will give me a start of where I can go with, you know, the focal image at some point. With Art Journal Habit, we have prompts. So I will pick some sort of prompt that I think goes with these colors when it comes to that point.
So going back to, you know, the first picture I showed you was this inspiration picture, which is just, you know, some magazine cutouts with colors down here. And if you saw me post a sketch yesterday, it was this, because the prompt on art school, let me back out a little bit. The prompt on art school, which is an online class, was creature. And I thought, well, this is a good opportunity. Thanks, Rennie. How are you this day? This is a good opportunity for me to play with just, sketches. And when I do this sort of work, I try to do like one line drawings, and you hold the back end of your pencil or pen instead of, getting up here and doing a fancy sketch. You're going to hold the back end of your pen. And if I look at this, I see that there are some leaves and things in here, and those might be kind of fun to sketch. So I could do a ferny type thing where I'm just, sketching out the leaves randomly here on a fern stalk. And it's just one continuous line. This is a good way to start. Shel was showing you how to doodle and scribble, and this is, some more of that sort of thing where you're just doing a doodle and scribble. And then, if you like, I know that's really light. If you like where this is headed, then I can pick up, another pen that's got maybe a thicker line, like this is a food ball. One of the ones that I used yesterday that I like is this Elegant Writer. This is supposed to be a calligraphy pen, but one of the things that's cool about it is it bleeds in color. So when you look at this, you can see that there's different colorization in here. And that's what I used for my line work. So I just, I drew my stem and I came up and I started my fern leaves like so. And you don't have to be precise. It's all about the play. And voila, we have this fern image, which, it's not precise. It doesn't look like the fern here. It's my kind of work, okay? And then I can take a water brush and just start moving some of that. So this is a good way to start play in a journal. And the more water you add, the different color variation, you can see that there's some pink coming in now because I'm adding even more water to it. So it starts out kind of a blue-green when you add the water. And then if you continue to add water, it turns more towards the pink-purple family. But this is just a fun way of creating, and you don't have to stay inside the line. This is something fun to do with kids. And a great way to start a journal page. And you could do even, like, suppose I wanted to emphasize the fact that we're working with fall. I could do lettering on my journal page and just add the highlights with the water brush, which is also going to be fun. And then if I wanted to add more color, I could go to another medium and add color in the background, however you want to do that.
So
yeah, Deb Weir is awesome. Love her stuff.
So I'm finished with this layer on this one. I applied some paint colors with my fingers, as you saw, and then I took a stencil, put the stencil over it with a wet baby wipe, and I rubbed some of the paint off to leave an image. And that's a good way to just get started with something. This was so yellow. I mean, this page was so yellow, and it had a little bit of patterning on it, but it needed something else. So now it's ready to move on to the next step. It's a good way to get started with stencils, doing different things with stencils. I might do some stencil stuff on this side too. It's very linear because it has these marks. So I don't know, I might find something to do with that. Put a different pattern on it somehow. I don't know.
Yeah.
Oh, I just got this stencil. I should use it. So sometimes when you get a stencil, it's really meant to be a mask, and it's just attached. So you're ending up getting a stencil and a mask, but you have to detach it. And you just go along to the little connectors. Don't stress about it. Just snip them. Take some little scissors and snip the connectors. So I've been eyeing this stencil for a long time. It's called Puddles, and I just think it's really cool. I was ordering some of these smudgy things for stenciling, which I haven't tried yet. And I saw this in my cart. I put it in my cart, and I was like, okay, it's time. Sometimes it's just time to buy it. So I did.
Yeah, speaking of that, I picked this up from our Tuesday morning. It was $11.99, usually $40. And, you know, they were talking about ink tints. Well, ink tints is a little bit pricey. So if you're looking for, you know, aqua pencils, you can sometimes find them cheaper in the discount stores. And, you know, I always like saving money. But
I like ink tints though.
Ink tints is beautiful. These are a watercolor. These are an ink. So,
ink tint is permanent when it's dry, after it's been activated with water.
Right.
You'd have to say that. A regular aqua pencil is not. So
right.
So if you just like a watercolor pencil, that's one thing. But if you want something like ink tints, you're just going to have to pay the money.
But for something like this, you know, if I'm just playing in a journal, it doesn't matter. You know, if you're doing something that's going to be a finished piece that goes on the wall. I mean, I like to play in watercolor journals. These are just, you know, you've seen these things that I've done where I've just done some play in a watercolor journal, and you know, it doesn't matter what I'm using in a journal like this. It can be anything. It's just play. Okay, so what do I want to do here? Let's drop. I don't know which way I want to go with this. Let's start. Do I have a stencil? Color. I want to actually, before I start on this piece, I want to get a few things with paste and that on it. This is a good way to start, is, you know, if you're going to do several projects, put some stuff aside to dry while you're working on other things. And then, you know, recognize that if you're using different mediums, like if I'm using a watercolor medium like that, I'm going to have to seal it with some sort of varnish if I want to go over the top with something else, because it will move when you start adding other things. So let's get some, here's the modeling paste. This is Liquitex. modeling paste, and I'm going to use, what I want to use on here. I want to just use some texture. So let's get some texture like this on there with the modeling paste. Don't like those. Different one. Yeah,
So this
50% off coupons are great. Absolutely.
It's a sponge roller, and I bought a whole box of them, or a whole bag of them, from Amazon to do with stenciling because it's fun. And I just used that puddle stencil a couple times over that page, and it just doesn't look so stark anymore. That's a good place to start for that one. So who knows what's going to go on these pages? I don't even know what the prompts are at this point. I haven't printed them yet.
Oh, I've printed them several times. I keep losing them. Yeah, and we will be posting that in Art Joy Sharing the first of the month. So look for those prompts. I also have it on Instagram. So it doesn't matter where you're posting, use the hashtag and we will find you. All right, so set that one aside, let that dry. I've got another one. That was modeling paste. Let's use some light molding paste. That dries a little bit faster.
I think this pen might be done.
And let's get a different stencil. Like this. Yeah, I haven't really been shot. I just went into Tuesday morning. Don't ask me why. I think it was because we were down there for an appointment or something. And I thought, well, I'll just poke my head in and see what they've got new. And then those pencils jumped in my cart. So what could I do?
Darn those things just jumping in your cart without permission.
Yeah. Okay. And I've got this is a Mary Beth Shaw stencil. Let's see. 2014, which means it is from one of her Stencil Club ones. But I really like it. I mean, look at it's got this cute texture. So, yeah.
Well, that's pretty fun.
If you don't know about Stencil Club, go check out Stencil Girl products. And I'll put this aside to dry.
Yes. Can't do the back of this one because this thing is not dry. I shouldn't have put that stuff on there.
And you guys may say, well, I don't know why she's doing all these different things. Well, it's because everybody's got different stuff, And I don't want you to have to go out and buy a whole bunch of stuff when you've got stuff, right? I want you to use what you have. So I'll grab another canvas. These are just cheap little bitty 4x4 canvases that you get from Walmart or someplace like that. And let's see. For this one, let's do another stencil. Which one do I want here? let's do, I want to, oh, I like this one. See, that's kind of like a woven grid. And what I'm going to do with this one is I'm just going to grab a dauber, if I can find it. I know it's up here. And if not, I'll get something else. I just saw it yesterday. That's what happens when you clean. Oh, that's the wrong thing. Okay, here we go. This is a clear ink in a dauber form. And if you have these daubers from any of those old paints and things, you can just save them and put them on the bottles. You can add your inks to these. But it's got this valve in the top, and it releases the ink. So I just want to use this to dab some ink onto my canvas. And I'll throw that in the water. Did it get through there? Not very much. Maybe I'll do some more. I'll make sure that this middle has some. And that's a very dirty stencil, so it's got a little coloration to it. And then I'm going to grab some clear embossing powder. And these are just little dollar store containers that have a clip on them. And then I put one of those cable clips inside. You've probably seen, what's her name? McGuire. Jennifer McGuire does this for her embossing powders. And I thought, well, that's clever. So I'm going to get a sheet of paper to collect my powder on. And I'm just going to sprinkle some embossing powder down because this is a quick way to do a resist with some embossing powder. And I get larger containers of embossing powder, and I don't really like the little bitty ones because I have a hard time dumping stuff back in there, and that's why I get these dollar store things. I think you get like 3 of them for $1. Not terribly expensive. And the lid clips down, so if I'm traveling with it, I'm not having a problem. But so I know many of you are like me and started out with stamping and scrapping, and so you have embossing powder laying around. So let's use it.
I have so much embossing powder, you would not even believe it. Ridiculous amounts. But that's how it goes. So I'm starting this page. I just have this little container of scraps on my desk, literally just scraps. And sometimes they're really fun to collage. And I would say that maybe if you guys have been watching my channel and watching me, you know that probably 90% of what I starts with collage. Because I love to glue stuff to stuff. It's just an obsession I have. But I'm not tearing these or ripping them or anything. I'm just gluing them down. I might tear this one though because it's too big. But besides that, yeah, collage is a good place to start. And I picked complementary colors, blue and orange. I had some orange scraps, and I thought that it would look really nice if I put some orange on here. So that's what I did. Just scraps. Good place to start. I think I might have another one of these.
These are
this weirdness on here.
Bombay inks.
India ink. Love India ink. Great stuff for mixed media. So isn't that fun? Just throw some scraps on there. And then when you're done with the extras, put them back in the bin. Who knows what this page will be once I know what the prompts are, but it'll be fun.
Right. Always fun.
Yeah.
So I'm just grabbing a few in those hues of blue and brown and, you know, the stuff that I had in my photo or my page that I was using for inspiration.
Brown.
Yes. Brown. Oh, Shel.
I know. Brown has to exist.
Someday. Brown is an essential color.
It is. I know. It's a neutral and it's earthy and it's fall-like. It's just such an ugly color.
No, it isn't. You live around it. You know, that whole Sedona area has nothing but browns and oranges and, you know, all of that.
Yes, I live in a world of brown. That's why I'm tired of it.
I'm tired of green, which is soon going to be white. Okay, so I'm just gonna start to play on here because now I've got the resist. I can add
Most of my punched holes in this.
some color in here. And I'll get a water bottle. What's that? And get it moving. Voila, we have background.
I lost my hole punches.
Uh-oh.
I collaged over the top of them. Well, that was fun. I think I'm going to do that again. What do I have for green? This is from Gina Bieren's design team. I mean, just from her designs. It's a postcard. I think it would look really nice on here.
Probably would.
It's already got collagey stuff on it already. You know, if you get packaging from something, reuse it, people. Don't throw it away. This was a postcard in a package that I received from Gina at some point. I don't even know when. But if I stick it on here, then I'm reusing it. Lay down. Of course, sticking down something as heavy as a postcard is a little bit trickier. It doesn't want to lay down, of course. But it inspires me to add some more pink. So now I have to find some pink scraps. Some sort of pink scraps. This is so pretty. I should have put that one on there. Wow. Actually, how much? Maybe. We'll see. What I really wanted was some bright pink. Do you have any pink scraps?
Oh, whoops. Okay, do not leave things open on your desk.
Did you spill?
Oh, yeah. Won't be the first time.
This is so thick. I wonder if I could. Oh, there we go. That's better. I can pull the separate things from each other. Oh, this one doesn't want to though. Those are a possibility.
Okay, so I've got all that lovely blue ink. Let's go back to that. This was that. Whoa! This was that original alcohol one. I'm just going to add some of that blue.
So who else besides me likes to start their pieces with collage? Am I the only one?
Oh no, I use collage. I like tissue paper. I like napkins. I like old text paper. I like maps. All of that is great fodder for a background.
I just find that I tend to reach for the scrappy papers before anything else. It's my number one thing.
Well, I can be converted, but I'm not really a glue it down from the start kind of person. I tend to go more towards mediums. I'm an ink girl by heart. Ink is my favorite thing. And then paint. So it just depends on where your love is,
I love paper.
You're
I love gluing it.
Paper lover, yeah. Oh, sorry, Bob Ross. You're going to be blue from now on. That's funny. Bob is going to be blue. Oh, maybe it comes off.
I saw a hilarious Bob Ross meme recently that I didn't wanted to share it with everybody, but I don't share things like that. It was on Facebook, I think, but now I wished I remembered what it was because it was so funny. Bob Ross is awesome.
He's got some good ones.
Ew, that's brown. Yeah.
Yeah, I got to clean up the wet here because it's everywhere.
I need something else. What do I need? Something. Need something.
All right, let's try that again. The joys of doing a live show. All right, back in business. So let's see if these are starting to dry yet. They're still cold. They're still wet. You know, you can feel them and know what's going on here.
Hey, stop coming up, you bad belly paper.
Hey, Beth Broadway, how you doing today? Haven't seen you in a while. What you been up to?
Okay, I like that.
I'm going to be over your direction next week. Oh, let's see.
My scissors are all gluey.
All right. So let's see. We have modeling paste. We have light molding paste. We have embossing. We have alcohol ink. Now, you guys wanted to do ink tints. So let's do ink tints. And for that, I think I have this other cool stencil, which is like a
Okay, I think everything's glued down there. That's a pretty good start.
not sure how
Or
this is
something.
going to work. But it's worth a try, right? It's always worth a try.
You're not going to lay down. I'm just going to tear you off. You realize that, right? You're going to get torn if you don't lay down.
Eli, I don't know if I said hello to you either. How are you?
That's better. Okay.
Ooh, I like that one. I should pull that out and use that for something.
Beginnings. Set aside to dry with my other beginnings. Oh,
So much fun. All right, I lost track of the one I wanted to use, so I'll just use something else. What the heck? I have plenty to pick from. Oh, there it is. Yeah, we were doing the leaf theme, right? So I've got this one, which is kind of cool because it's got those little bitty connections, so you can do the mask or the stencil. So with this, you just take your scissors and snip, 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 snip. Here we go. Snip this part. I know you're never here. You're usually working or something, aren't you?
put you in there. How about some more mark making? Yeah? What color?
Okay, so just maybe one more. You don't want to pull these apart because then you'll damage it. But that just takes a second to snip those little bitty bridges on here apart. There we go. So I think that's pretty cool. And what I can do with this, got my watercolor paper here, and I can take the mask, and you guys wanted to see the ink tints in action. So I can take my ink tints colors and a water brush. Lose that thing if it don't work out. And my on screen, let's see if I can get you in closer. There we go. And it's white on white right now, so that's going to be hard. But I'm going to pick up some of these ink tints colors with a water brush. And I'm just going to start into that masked area. I like this olivey green. And rinse my brush, and then I'm going to come over to more of the magenta tones. You know, it's fall out there. We're getting some of these tones out there. And these ink tints are great because they stay more vibrant than water. You know how watercolor kind of dries back paler? These don't do so much of that. Let's see. Let's get an orangey tone. That one's a little bit bright. I'm going to tone it down with the next step down. Okay, so now I've got a blend of color through that mask, right? And I'm going to want to dry that. So I'm just going to put my mask in the water and dry that back. Honestly, I'm going to tap it with my finger to blend it a little bit more.
So I'm sure you guys all have some bubble wrap around your house somewhere. It's fun for mark making. It's a good place to start. So I picked colors that were already in the background, but I wanted to get rid of some of this linear look to this. So I started with the bigger bubble wrap with buff titanium, and then I went in with the Naples yellow, which was already in there, and then now I'm just adding back in some of this ruby red color. I don't think that was the original color, but doesn't that change the look of it quite a bit? And then you can see some kind of focal image over here, some writing over here, and this page would be looking pretty good. So mark making, always a good way to start an art journal page.
Okay, so here's my pixie spray. And it's a light tack repositionable adhesive for stencils. And what you do is you just take your stencil or mask and you just spray the back of this with that pixie spray and wait for about a minute. I'm going to do this over the garbage can.
Rennie, no, Stabilo woodies do not dry permanent. Ink tints are the only ones. Woodies are a watercolor product.
So that just puts a low tack on here. And it can go right over that. And then I'm going to grab some ink. Well, I got ink tints out here. Why don't I just use that? Oh, what a novel concept, Peg. What color is this? It's like a dark blue. So I'm just going to put some of that around. And on this other side, I think I'm going to go towards the blue-green. Okay, and then I want a brush for a wash, and I'm going to spritz it with some water. If I can find my water. That's alcohol. That won't do. Spritz this with my water to activate that. Just a light spritz. And then I'm going to grab a brush and see what we can get with this to blend it out.
Amazon.
Okay, so pull the stencil. Oops, maybe pull the stencil. I've got some stuff in the middle that I don't want there, so I'm going to mop that before I dry. And I'm going to dry again. Okay, this should be dry enough. Now I want to go back to my mask, which still has enough tack to it, but I can tack it back down. Try to line it up as best I can. And this time, I want, I'm going to grab something. I'm going to grab a plum archival and I don't know if you guys have seen these yet or not. These are those domed sponges that you can get at scrapbook.com.
Rennie, did
like
you use my Amazon link?
Because it doesn't have the hard edge on it, like the ones that we all have and know about. So I got a few of these, but I'm just going to pick up, see, I'm just going to pick up with my sponge some of that plum color because I want to emphasize the stencil design here. And then that was plum. Now I need another color because it's all about fall and color, right? So this time, I think I will grab some orange blossom. Turn that around. Add some orange blossom.
No, they're always ready to check.
Okay. Very fall-like, right?
About some alcohol. That would be cool. I think somebody was asking about the difference between alcohol ink and India ink, which are both permanent media. Alcohol ink is based in alcohol. That's the base of it. And so it dries very quickly. It evaporates very quickly. It doesn't soak in, and it is good for non-porous surfaces like plastic and metal. India ink is probably the oldest form of a pigment ink around. They were using it in, 1300, and it's been around forever. And it's a pigment in some type of a resin. I'm not sure exactly how it's manufactured, but it's a very different product. It can be used like a watercolor. It is water soluble, and you can watercolor with it. I'll show you guys that. This is a set. I have two sets. Well, this color's dried up, but they're pretty much getting empty. Yep, that one's done. I was going to use it. Dang it. From Dr. P.H. Martin's. You can buy it as single colors in a bottle. Often used for calligraphy, like this, like a speedball bottle. But it's water soluble, but once it's dry, it's permanent. And
one of the nice things about it is many of the craft stores do carry it, and they do carry it in these sets. So like you were talking about your 50% off coupons, you can get a nice set of the small bottles, and these are going to last you a good long while.
Yeah. I have 2 sets of these. I have set 1 and set 2, but as you can see, I've had them for a long time and they're drying up. But they're fun.
They are fun.
I just need to get rid of the rest of it and replace it if I want to replace it. Where's my squeezy dippy thing? Where's that thing?
Your squeezy dippy thing?
Yeah.
I don't know. Where'd you put that?
I don't know. Oh, here's one.
I have a lot of dippy things.
This is the squeezy dippy thing. In case you didn't know.
Oh, jeez. All right.
Hey, it's a thing, okay? Well,
this is taking forever. I was hoping that this would dry. It's not going to dry. So, yeah, we'll do something else.
Yeah, it's completely gooped.
We will do something else. Okay, so let's go back to those alcohol inks that I had out. And let's do a little alcohol ink.
Oh, that one has some in it.
Because I tend not to spill them so much because they have a nice small tip.
Yes, that is a bonus. It kind of looks like blood dripping down.
And this one is oregano. Let's see. Let's get some oregano in here. All right. And then where's my alcohol spray? This is just 91%.
So see how this blends so easily with water? It's almost a watercolor product, but yet when it's dry, it's permanent. So that's what's cool about India ink, and we really should use it more often, actually. I don't know why I've allowed mine to go dry. When I like it.
Because we have so many fun things to play with. You know.
That's the problem.
I think I want a little bit more of that dark down here. Okay, so we got a little texture going on there. We've got texture going on here. Got texture going on here. Reactivate the... No, I've never actually been able to reactivate them. I'm going to use some gold mixative.
See how far I can blend that out, like watercolor, make a wash with it. It's just cool stuff.
I might use some gold mixative if I can get into it. The mixatives clog up a little bit too. The alcohol ink is not going to, but the mixatives will. I'm not sure just what in there causes that, but it will clog. Let's see if I can get in there now. Oh, yes, and then it just spurted all over the place. All right. So I want to brighten this one up a little bit. So I want to use some of that. And I don't like what's happening with that. So I need a clean cup. Move down. Where's my... There we go. Just get a clean... These are just cheap craft store felt, you know, that I cut into squares. And I'm putting that gold mixative on here because I want it to hit those raised areas. So I'm not really pressing down. I'm just hitting those raised areas with that. Okay. Liking what's going on here. Might add just a hint of the gold on the edges of that alcohol ink panel.
On the other side. All right. Oh dear. Guess that magenta got a little crazy.
Okay, so let's see.
Luckily, it's not dry yet, and I can wipe it off.
Back out here a little bit so you guys can see more of my desk. So now we've got these things going on. I've got this one. And I think for this one, what do I want to use? Let's use some paint. We haven't used paint yet. Grab my Clean Away Clay. And this is the Marine. And Sedona.
Purple. Purple.
So let me get these out of the way while they're drying. Work on this. Get a wet brush because I want to get this paint moving. I want to see the texture.
Oh, that was way too much. Well, I had a spatula up here somewhere.
Water.
Scraping with a card is a fun way to start a project.
Yes, it is.
Whether it's with gesso or whether it's with paint, because it makes a very different look than some other ways of applying medium. And you can put it on as thick or as thin as you want. So it's nice, fun. Now I have a big blob of gesso over here with nothing to do. Put it on. Erg. Maybe I'll just put it on this side. I also like to brayer. Brayering makes me happy.
Happy, happy. Happy, happy. Okay. Whoops. Took it out. Took out my camera. That was not too good. There we go. All right.
It feels so weird not finishing anything.
You can finish something. I don't care if you finish something. We got a few minutes. We can finish up something.
If the episode is beginnings, that doesn't mean endings. Besides, all these pages are for next month.
Let's see. I want next up, beginning with Distress Crayon, right? Or Neocolor, or what are they? Dina Wakley, or there's all kinds of mediums and crayons. So I mean, this is a good thing to use too. We have this stuff. We need to use it, right?
Okay, what should we do? Should we make some marks? Should we make some, I don't know. What do we want to do? How about these? These are fun. You can make some marks with Neocolor.
Yep.
When all else fails, get out your Neocolor.
Yep.
Fun, fun, fun. How about there's a little bit of that turquoisey color is in the background. I can see it.
I can see it.
It's there. I know it's there.
Yes, it would be smart to get some pages ready. But
Yeah,
I don't think I'm that smart. Maybe next week. Maybe next week, because I think that's what we're going to work on next week is
we're doing our first page next week.
Art Journal Habit.
First page, which is also the Pick a Stick Challenge next week.
We're going to be busy girls.
It's going to be a crazy page trying to fit in a prompt as well as, a word prompt as well as all those other prompts and the colors and
Yeah, I don't know if I'll pull that off. It might end up being 2 pages. You never know.
Oh, I'm doing it.
She's doing it. She's doing
I'm
it.
doing it.
She's making a promise. She's saying she's doing it.
That looks pretty cool.
It does. All right, what did I do with that? I have the cap in my hand. Ugh. And they're all saying, it's right there in front of you. It's right there. Can't you see it?
That has happened to me before.
Lenny says, "You go, girl."
I'm on my video. I'm doing something. I'm looking all over for something, and then later in the comments, they're like, "It was right there."
Yeah.
Well, I couldn't see it.
It was right there, but we didn't know where it was. Okay. So I'm going to gather those up, stick them back in here.
My water brush is empty.
So
I cannot fill it because I have no water.
how do you guys like to start? Tell us what you like to do. I'd like to know what gets you going.
Fire, or rather water. Trying to fill my water pan with my water sprayer. I'm getting water everywhere.
Oh yeah, and I forgot I was going to tell you guys, we did a really fun collaboration this month. It was for Somerset Studio with Mary Beth Shaw. So if you happen to be in the aisle where you see the winter Somerset Studio, it's November, December, January issue, I think. Check it out because we're there.
This is what's in the magazine as far as my part.
Yep. And
happens to be sitting on my desk. Needs to go up on the wall because I like it, but there will be no video. It's just in the magazine.
Right. And this was the piece that I did. So we both have completed pieces.
But the last I checked, the magazine wasn't out in the stores yet. People who subscribed to it got theirs. And a couple people commented on to me on a different video that they had seen it. So
cool. That's cool.
So somebody out there is reading that magazine.
Somebody is. Okay, so probably should do, we've gotten this far. I probably should do a little something on some of this just to finish it out.
Those are starts.
Yeah, I know. I don't like starts. I like finishes.
No, this is about starting, not finishing. If you finish one of those, you will be breaking all the rules.
Oh, well, that's me. I break the rules.
People, she's breaking the rules. She told me it was about beginnings.
Well, beginnings have endings, right?
I don't know. I'm not sure.
I mean, this is nothing major. This is just, showing them how they can take this to the next level.
Well, then it should be named Make a Project.
Oh, well.
You know how much I hate doing things that don't end. It's like my Morse nightmare. But I can't finish any of these because
she's going to use them. She's going to use them. These are not going in my journal. These are just playthings.
Marie, it's Somerset Studios is the magazine. And it's the November, December, January issue. So the winter issue. I haven't actually seen it, except for what Peg sent me as a picture, because she's a subscriber and I'm not. All right. That's pretty fun, but I think it needs a little purple over the top. Purple, 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 purple. I think I'll use this one. Just a little. See how fun mark making is? And this page doesn't have to be about anything yet. It's just a page.
Just a page.
With some design on it. And it will be something in November. Whatever happens to be the prompt.
So these little canvases I'm making, pieces I'm making, if you're in Art Joy is Sharing Facebook group and you're interested in getting one of these, I will be posting in the group, and let me know, and I will be sending some of these out to people in the group.
Giveaway!
Time for giveaway. Woohoo!
Okay, that's really good.
Remember, it's in the group. It's not here. It's over in the Facebook group. So comment on the pictures that I post later today when we're done with the show, if you want one.
Is that how you're getting around breaking the rules?
I guess.
You rule breaker?
Because I'm giving it away.
Yeah. She's giving it away, therefore it's okay to break the rules.
Yeah.
I love these.
Yeah, it is expensive, but honestly, if you subscribe, it's a lot cheaper because I think they're running a special right now. If you can't find the special, message me and I'll see if I can get it for you, because it was like, I don't know if it was 40 something for the subscription. It was a couple of years. So, I mean, that to me was a lot better than, what is it, like $15 an issue now? Yeah. So, I mean, if you're going to buy a couple of issues in a year's time, you might as well just go ahead and subscribe. That's my take on it. Let's see. Oh, these would be fun on there. I like these. Need my hot glue gun. Or maybe, no, I'll just use some good glue. Here we go. Use some Tombow Mono. Good glue.
I probably didn't get any thing recorded.
Oh no.
Because somebody called.
Oh.
And turned off my phone.
Oh, Shel, I'm so sorry.
That's okay. We'll see if there is anything, but probably not. And I turned off the sound on my phone because I didn't want the sound on my phone.
Yeah.
This thing.
Yeah.
Dang it.
It's hard to fit all of this into into a photo on here. When you shoot double like this, the space that you have to videotape is greatly reduced. So I apologize. Ooh, it's making noises. That was not the artist.
Sure.
Mmm. Bet I've got some pretty feathers someplace. How are we doing on time? Oh, we got 1 minute.
1 minute? Oh, okay.
Got 1 minute.
Okay, so
anyway, I hope you guys all join us for our challenge next month. You know, and you don't have to do something every day if you can't do it something every day, but you know, hashtag us, you know, let us know what you're doing because we love seeing your art, you know, not just what we do, but what you do. And we hope to inspire you to create. So, recommended caption that you can download your recorded stream. Yeah, we've done that, Kathy. Yeah. But the problem is we usually just videotape our own half and put it on our own channels.
yeah, I can't do a speed if I'm doing Peg speed, because then it's my channel, it's her stuff.
Yeah.
So that's why we double record now that we're doing this new format.
Right. Because then you can see my entire desk, or you know, at least that larger portion of my desk where I'm working. And it's in a fast mode, and I can talk you through what I'm doing rather than having both of us there. So that's why we do the fast mode after the show.
Yeah.
For those people that don't have an hour and a half to join us.
Which is a lot of people.
Yeah. Yeah. So anyway, happy fall, y'all. And we'll see you next week with Pick a Stick Challenge and the Art Journal Habit 2019.
Yeah. Yep.
So bye for now.
Bye-bye.